everyone, I'm April and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. This is episode 10, I believe. I'm going to start off with something I got that I ordered, and it just came in the other day and I've been dying to show everyone. I haven't even totally unpackaged it yet because it's cute. I wanted to show you first. So I'm making all kinds of noise because the first thing that came, this was actually I didn't order this, but it came in the package. What I got, it was from Matter Root. She included some super cute temporary tattoos. It's adorable. I'm gonna walk around with this sheep on my arm. But they're just super cute. A knitting ball or yarn ball. Another one, 2 hearts with the knitted stitch on there. It's got stitch markers and SSK, knit 2 together. Well, in the photo on her website, matterroot.com, she's got a bunch of these little stitch markers all over her hands. I'm going to add it to the tattoos that I already have. Super cute, but these were just a gift, I guess, because I did not order these and they were in my package. So super cute. Thank you. So what I did order was some drawstring bags, and I am into bees lately. And I really need to finish a couple of projects that have to do with bees. I want to do, I haven't started this one yet, but I want to do the beeswax cowl by Amy Vandelar. Dying to do that. Dying to do that. And then there's another one called Queen Bee. I'm going to have to look up the name of the designer on that, but it's another shawl. I've had that one sitting around about 3/4 of the way done for over a year, so I need to finish that because I'm super excited about it. I actually I bought yarn special for it at the time, but it's been sitting around just doing nothing, and I really need to finish it. But what I got was this drawstring bag with honeycombs all over it. It's so adorable. I love it so much. Look, there's the bees. I love it so, so much. She's got her little tag here. It says Matter Root. And it's drawstring, so super exciting. I could fit, a cowl or a pair of socks in here. So excited. So I got that one. And then the other one that I got is a little bit of a larger size, and I can definitely put a small shawl in there, or at least the beginnings of a big shawl. This one is the Queen's Anne lace. Oh, it's so pretty, and it's this pretty grayish blue color. I love it. I love it so much. So that's what I ordered, and I'm so excited. It's very simple. It's just a simple linen bag. Very lightweight. Nothing extra fancy about it except for the cute little stamped on patterns. I like simple. Some of the other bags like these I adore, but sometimes I just want simple. And that's what I got with the bags from Matter Root, and I'm so excited. And I'm totally digging the temporary tattoos. I mean, that is so, what an awesome and clever idea. I'm gonna walk around. I'm gonna have a sheep on my arm. I'm totally gonna do it. You watch. I'm gonna do this. So that's what I got in the mail. That's my new thing. Here's her card with her website on there, and this is the front of the little card. And this is another of the bags that I've seen on her website. Another of the drawstring bags. I think that's the fern pattern. Very pretty. Super cool. So I'm super excited to have that. So let's get into knitting. I meant to have my crazy shawl done, the one with the added on border, but it's taking me forever and I needed to put it in timeout for a bit. I just needed to take a break from that border. I mean, I love the look of knitted on borders, but working them sometimes is a little bit tiring. It's like, I'm not done yet. What is going on? So, I'm like sideways. I'm sideways, aren't I? Maybe if I go a little this way. Is that better? Like 6 minutes in and I'm ready to figure out that I'm sideways. So I got my brown bagging knit sock club for March started, and I had the hardest time figuring out what pattern I wanted to do with this yarn. So it's these two yarns. This was the Three Irish Girls McClellan base. The color is called Kerfuffled. And then this one was the Nerd Girl yarn on their Bounce and Stomp base. And this one was called T-Virus. And I could not find a pattern that I liked. I don't know why. I was just being very wishy-washy and indecisive. So in the end, I started just making up stuff, and I ended up making this cable pattern here. So I added that after the toe. And then about halfway up the repeat for the cable pattern, I'm like, oh, I'm going to add some little clovers. So I've got cables and lace. Stick my hand in there. So I got cables and lace going up the sock, and I'm kind of staggering the clovers the way, you know, because it's to add some movement. I was originally just going to stack them up on the side edge, but because the cables have movement to them, I wanted the clovers to have a little bit of movement too. So that's what I'm doing. And I've gotten pretty far. It's actually going really fast. So I think I've got one more repeat, and then I can do start doing the gusset. So very excited. I'm gonna do a heel flap on this. I decided that I don't care for short row heels as much as I thought. So that's what I'm going with. So I got those started, and then what else was I starting? For Delicious Death Group, we're reading Destination Unknown by Agatha Christie, and I had mentioned I was going to do the Garden of Allah shawl in the Miss Babs Yowza worsted. So this is the yarn that I'm using for the main body of the shawl, and then I've got the Malabrigo Rios. This is called Whimsical, and this is Sand and Storm. So I've got it started as well, and it's coming out really, really pretty. Let's see if I can get a little bit closer in there for you. I love all the different colors, pinks, greens. It's like a navy blue, almost a black, some gray, like a mauve color, purple. I love it. I am just in love with this color. And I think it's going to look really, really good. Some of those greens in there are kind of in the lighter sections of the Malabrigo yarn. So I think it's going to match really, really well. So I'm super excited, and it's worsted, so it's going to go pretty fast. And the pattern is very straightforward, really easy. So, and let's see, the name of the designer on that pattern is Puff Updater, and it's the Garden of Allah shawl. And I started something else, which was kind of a last minute request from my daughter. My daughter has been dabbling in tarot card reading, and she's got a set of tarot cards, and it comes in a little tin. It used to have a bag, and I guess the bag tore, and she wanted another one, and she had requested something in purple and gray. So I went hunting through my stash, and I found this that I have had for at least three or 4 years. And I got this from Pandy's Jewels. This is her squidgy base. It's a fingering, kind of a light fingering, I think. It's definitely thinner than her What is the other base that I usually get? Snug. Her Snug base is what I normally get, and this is just a little bit lighter than that. Not quite, definitely not a lace weight or heavy lace. It's a light fingering for sure. But the colorway is awesome. It's called Purple Shirt. And if you're a Sherlock fan, you know exactly what that means. Yay, Benedict Cumberbatch. Woo-hoo. So I'm just basically improvising this. I started off with a rectangle that I knit back and forth for a few rows. And then I picked up stitches all the way around. And I'm just doing a 3x2 rib. And I'm just going to go all the way up to the length that I need. And then I'm thinking, because it's going to be a drawstring, and I'm thinking at the end I'm going to make, because the ribbing is going to make it a little more snug, and then as soon as I do stop the ribbing, and I'm going to do a feather and fan at the end, that's going to make it flare out a little bit, and then when she has the drawstring tie, it's just going to kind of frill out a little bit. So I think it's going to be cool. And she was just here a few minutes ago. Hi, Santana. And she loves the color, so that's awesome. There's my little kitty stitch marker. So it's gonna work out so cool. And this is the yardage on this is about 490 something yards. So I'm still gonna be able to get a good pair of socks out of this. So after I finish the pouch, so I'm super excited to have started that. I've got a lot of things on my plate this month. I really wanted to break into some things that I have had on the needles for a little while. I just finished a shawl that I'm not showing you right now because I need to block it, but it literally just came off the needles a couple hours ago. It was the Cretaceous pattern. Super ingenious. It's a nice, clever little construction for a crescent shawl. It's worked in I guess a modular kind of way. Kind of pick up as you go, knit as you go when you pick up the different sections. It's not sewn on or anything, but it's definitely in pieces. And I've got that done. I just finished it today. Literally, I've had it in my hibernating in my closet for a little over a year, and it took me less than 2 hours to finish it. I don't know why it sat around so long. Probably because I keep getting start-itis and I keep wanting to start all the things all the time. So I'm going to show you that next week. What else? Oh, and then another Pandia's thing. Oh my goodness, it fell. It totally fell. I got some hand spun yarn from Pandia's Jewels. Miss Julia spun that herself, and it's a sport weight, and it's so pretty. I'm really not an orangey person, and this has a lot of, the colors read very orange from far away, but there's a lot of blues and greens and burgundy. Super pretty, and it's about 500 yards or so, I think, of a sport weight. So, and I don't know how to pronounce this pattern. I'll put a little tag of what it's called. It's a French word, so I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not even going to try. But it's going to be I think it's a crescent. But this is what it's looking like so far, and I love all the little rings of color. It's like, it's so pretty. I'm digging it. Look at that teal at the beginning. Oh, I love it so much. This is the first time that I've ever knit with anything hand spun, and I am not disappointed at all. So excited by it. And it's going to be so warm and cozy. It's so springy and bouncy. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, I love Miss Julia from Pandia's Jewels. I love her so much. I watch her, she sometimes gets on Instagram and puts little live stories on there, and, you know, I'm constantly looking at all her colors and just, you know, wishing I could buy everything from her. But a while back, this was over a year ago. I think it was October 2016. She asked for some test knitters on Ravelry. And I went ahead and did it. That was the first time that I ever did test knitting for someone. And this is what it was. It's called her Dark Seed Shawl. And all of these are Pandia's yarns, and I didn't even have to buy any yarn for it. It was all in my stash, so it worked up so good. All of these, the black, the burgundy, and the gray were all part of a kit. They were 50-gram skeins. There was 5 of them, and she had called that kit Day of the Dead. I loved it. I had to have it. It also had a bright pink and a like a very light tannish beigeish color, which she had called Bone. Super cute. Oh, it was just the most wonderful. She calls them Color Me Happy kits, and it's 5 50-gram skeins. And so that's what I used for this. The speckled one that I have on here, I think is my favorite. She called that one, It's So Fluffy. So every time I see it, I have to be all, it's so fluffy. So I love, love, love that color. I especially love how it looks against the black stripes. And even the black is not solid. It's definitely a tonal black. It's so pretty. I love it so much. So this was the Dark Seed Shawl. Her name is Julia Wardell on Ravelry. Super pretty, and I love it. Love it so much. And speaking of It's So Fluffy, this pink also happens to be in the Cretaceous shawl that I told you that I just finished. So be on the lookout for that next time. After I have it all blocked and everything. I'm telling you, I love Pandia's jewels. I'm there all the time. I'm on there all the time looking at her stuff. And as a matter of fact, this other shawl has tons and tons and tons of, I bet you I can name them all, of Pandia's Jewels yarns in them. Actually, there's a few in here. I don't know what they're called, but this was the Stephen West Holy Chevrons. It's so pretty. It's definitely different. And it was one of those, like, I'm just going to use up a bunch of stuff. Oh, see here, this is what I was saying from the Day of the Dead kit. There's the bone color and the bright pink. So that, the gray, the black, and that deep burgundy from the other one were the Day of the Dead kit that she had. Let's see, there's a little bit of that black and gray right here in the stripes. And in here is some burgundy, and then it's hard to see, but there's a variegated gray in there, grayish green color that she had called, I think I love her so much because of her names. She had called it Tea, Earl Grey Hot. I mean, Jean-Luc Picard, who's not gonna buy that yarn? I loved it so much. I was just like, must have it, must have it, must have it. I fell in love. So I have put a little bit of that into this shawl. I'm very sad because there's some socks that I made a long time ago with that Tea Earl Grey Hot. Oh, I loved them so much, but my niece fell in love with them, so they belong to my niece now. Yeah, and there's even a little bit of, gosh, that fluffy, It's So Fluffy went a long way. You can see the speckly pink in there. The teal was a different yarn altogether, and I want to say that it was, I don't remember. It's definitely one of the random yarns that I just kind of picked up at a yarn shop one time, just kind of grabbed it off the shelf. I don't remember the name of it. It was years and years ago. Down here at the bottom, though, is what really amazes me. So that same pink that I'm using in the Crazy shawl, that's in here, striped with a yellow and green and brown yarn that I don't like. I never liked it. It came in, okay, I sometimes go onto Ravelry and I look through people's stashes and see what they're selling. And this one particular woman was selling a bunch of 3 Irish Girls Adorn yarn, but she was selling them only in sets that she chose. And so she had put, I think there was sets of 5 skeins for a certain dollar amount, and she had all these pre-packaged sets. And in that set, I liked 3 out of the 5. So 2 of the skeins I did not like, and that was one of them. That green, brown, yellow stuff. And don't get me wrong, I tend to love 3 Irish Girls yarns too, but that particular one I did not like. And so I decided, I'm going to throw it at this Stephen West show. Why not? And it actually ended up looking kind of cool, striped with the Kate yarn, with the pink. So it's very exciting. And you know, it kind of is a throwback. Here's the bright green, and then I've got a bright green right at the beginning of the shawl. I think this is pickle juice from Stroll, actually. I don't remember what the purple is. That might be berry stain from Pendia's, but I'm not positive. But it kind of, you know, tied the whole shawl together to have the 2 greens and pinks together. So it worked out, and I really get so many compliments on this shawl, and it's just so fun to wear, and it's fun. I don't like a lot of Stephen West stuff. I'm sorry. I apologize. I know everybody loves him. I do like some of his things. I've been dying to do Vertices Unite, and there's another one, and I can't think of the name right now. Dotted Rays, but there's another one. I like Dotted Rays, and there's another one. I can't think of it right now, but I can't say that I want to knit everything by Stephen West. So, you know, just being honest, he's a great designer. He seems like a super fun guy, but this one I really like. And I think it's the shape and how big it is, and it's just awesome. I love this one. So it's definitely a bright pop of color for me and super fun. Oh, and then so those are the things that I have done. Those are the things that I'm working on. And, you know, because I need another thing to start. Josh Reichs-Rabinski, also known as Geonitrix on YouTube. He is doing coming up, I think, March 15th. He's doing a mystery knit along with 3 Irish Girls. I'm not buying any yarn. I'm not. But I am going to consider very heavily about doing this mystery shawl. And it calls for 3 colors in a light, medium, and dark. These are what I'm planning to do. There goes my daughter trying to be sneaky. Forgot my purse. That's okay. Bye. Bye. I love you. So these are the 3 that I'm using or planning to use. I've had this yarn literally for at least 8 years. It might even be more. This is called, it's made by Indie Dyer, and it's called Super Sock Select, and the colorway is called Aztec, and it's very rusty red. It's got some different shades of purple and that dark teal. I love this so much. And I actually had 2 skeins of it, and I made a baby blanket out of the other one. And I mean, does that look like a baby blanket? But the woman who I made it for had named her daughter Autumn. This screams autumn to me. So I made a baby blanket out of that, and it was just a simple giant granny square. You know, I just kept going and going and going until it started to, I don't know if you've ever made granny squares really big, and after a while they start to get wavy on the edges. So when it started to get wavy, and I would say it's about 30 inches by 30 inches, when it started to get that wavy effect is where I stopped. So I have this full skein, and I have a little ball, maybe 80 yards in that ball, of this stuff. So this is gonna go in there, and this is gonna be my medium yarn. This will be my light yarn. This is 3 Irish Girls. I will be using 3 Irish Girls in the 3 Irish Girls Mystery Knit Along. 3 Irish Girls of Dorn, and this one they named Guinness. Doesn't it look like beer? Like, for real, maybe a light Guinness. It's definitely not a dark beer, but perfect name. I love it so much. And then this other one here is Knit Picks Stroll, and it's the eggplant colorway. Super dark purple. So that's my light, medium, and dark. I can't get them again. So that's what I'm gonna do. And the shawl that they're doing is called Turbulence. So sounds exciting. I think I showed you, if not last time, the time before, the color strike shawl that he designed, and I love it. He's just got a really good eye for texture and how to play with colors. So I'm super excited to knit on this one, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it started immediately because I've got so many other things that I'm trying to work on. But I'm definitely going to try. I'm excited. At the very least, I'm going to be, lurking over there on the thread and liking everybody else's projects and commenting and, and seeing how it turns out, because I really, really enjoy his designs very, very much. And little by little, I'm going through my stash trying to put together a bunch of yarns that will blend together really nice, kind of like a fade, but I want to put it in his Degreenify shawl. Been dying to do that one for the longest time. So Josh Reichs Rabinski. So I think that's about all I have today, actually. It's been very, very windy. Forgive me with my fluffy hair today. It's ridiculously windy right now in New Mexico. When spring happens here, the wind starts blowing like mad, and it's crazy. And it's an annual thing. That's what our springs are here, is wind. So I keep hearing it through the windows, and it's kind of scary. But so that's what's been going on here. I have a few errands to do this evening. I actually would have posted or recorded this and posted it sooner, but I worked a little extra today, some overtime at work, so I'm barely getting to this now, and I'm super excited to have spent my evening with you for a little bit, and I hope that you're having a wonderful Sunday night, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for visiting with me again. Bye-bye. Because you are not making me happy. What are you doing? Oh, it's all static. Hi, Aggie. Hi. Are you watching me? Oh, you're so pretty. Say hi.